Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to take what we learned yesterday and talk about converting the different units of measurement with length. And we can always do this with a measuring tape or a ruler or a meter stick, but we're going to focus on how to do this with math today. Before I show you the items on the paper, there's some things I want you to do with me so we can practice. When we're converting units of measurement, if we're going to from something small, like an inch, so do this with me, small, like an inch, and we are converting it to something big, like a foot, so you can put your hands out and say, from small to big, we divide. And our arms make the middle of the division sign, and our head is the dot and the dot, right? So if we go from something small to large, we divide. Okay, we divide. And then if we are going from something large to small, we multiply. So a foot to an inch, we multiply. So a foot is larger than an inch, so you multiply. Small to large, we divide. Large to small, we multiply. Okay, and so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you what we can write on paper to remind ourselves that, but when you do that, you can use your arm movements to help you remember what to do. And so remember, a lot of times we think of the number and not the unit, and we might say, oh, well, that's a big number. No, think about the unit. An inch is small, so inch, small, to large, we divide. A yard is large. Going to something small like a foot, because a foot is smaller than a yard, then we would multiply. Okay, so that's something you can remember when we're doing this on paper. All right, so now we're going to practice this on paper, and I want us to think of what we know. We know that 12 inches is the same as 1 foot, and we know that 3 feet is the same as 1 yard. Okay, and so how that might look in a picture is that this is 1 foot, then that's the same as 12 inches. If we have 3 feet, I'm going to do my best, they're not going to be exactly equal here. That's 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet. Okay, then that would be 12 inches. Another 12 would be 24 inches. And another 12 feet would be 36 inches. And what have we made? We have made 1 yard. So we can also remember that 1 yard is 36 inches. Just little things to remember. Okay, so remember when I was showing you those the hand movements, when we go from a small unit to a large unit, we divide. When we go from a large unit to a small unit, we multiply. Okay, and I have also made a little paper for me to remember this, so that when I'm doing some converting in other areas, I can just have this little paper so I can remember. I also did a little person showing small unit and then going to a large unit, so that can help me remember what I can do with my arms to remember how to do this. I'm going to put this to the side for now, but I'm going to use it later. Okay. And so the other thing we can do when we are converting, we can draw pictures like we did up here, and we can also make a table. So we have done input-output boxes before. So this will look very much like what we did for our input-output boxes. So if I know that a foot is 12 inches, I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 here, and I know that that's 12 inches. And so then 2 feet would be 24, okay? And so what I'm doing is I'm going from a large unit to a small unit, and so I can look up here, large unit to a small unit, I multiply. So if I need to, I can remember I'm multiplying. And what are we multiplying by in this case? So 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 12 is 24. So we're multiplying by 12 because for every foot there are 12 inches. Okay, so we're multiplying by 12. And we can keep going. So if it helps to make a chart, so you can refer to it later. Yeah, absolutely, make a chart. And just know that each time we are multiplying by 12, 36, 48, 60, 72. Okay? All right, let's do another one. So now I have feet and yards. So for every foot, I have, sorry, I'm thinking backwards here. For every 3 feet, I have 1 yard. And remember, I'm going from feet to yards, so that's smaller to larger. So I can look here. So smaller, my feet, 2 yards. So I'm dividing. Okay, and so 3 divided by, because there's 3 feet in every yard, divided by 3 would equal 1. Okay, so if I had 6 divided by 3, that would equal 2 yards. So we're dividing by 3 because there's, for every yard, we have 3 feet. Okay, try to keep going. And I don't even have to go in order if I don't want to. I'm going to go to 21. Oh, 21 divided by 3 gives me 7. Look, not even going in order, but I can still figure it out. Okay, now we're going to do some sample problems. You might want to do these along with me. Feel free to pause the video and give yourself some think time if you'd like, or if you need to stop and rewind and see how I did something, that's totally fine. Okay, so we're going to go to 4 feet, and we're going to try to figure out how many inches that is. So we know that feet are larger than inches, so we're going from large to small, so we multiply. So I know that for every foot there is 12 inches, so I'm going to say multiply by 12, okay? So 4 times 12, and if you want, we can always check on the other page because we did a little chart for that. So 4 times 12 is going to be 48 inches. And I want to check my work. So I'm going to draw a little picture to help me check my work. I'm going to say, okay, well, this is 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, and 4 feet. Okay. You're going to see what I'm doing here too. And so for every foot, we have 12 inches, 12, 24, 36, 48. And look what I have done. I have actually made a little chart. So drawing a picture and a chart can end up being the same thing. This would be feet, and that would be inches. And did I get the same answer? I sure did. All right, good deal. Let's look at number 2. Number 2, we have 5 yards to however many feet. So remember, yards are big, and big going to smaller. Something that's a smaller unit is multiplying. So we know we're going to multiply, and every yard has 3 feet. So we should be multiplying by 3. Okay, so 5 times 3 should give us 15 feet. Okay, so now we're going to draw to check, and of course as we're drawing we're actually making a chart as well. So 1 yard, I'm going to have to start over here. 1 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are my yards. These are my feet. Okay. So then for every yard, I've got 3 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet, 12 feet, and 15 feet. And not only did I draw a picture, I also ended up making a table, a horizontal table. And did I get the right answer? Sure enough, I did. I checked my answer here. And are you gonna always need to draw this? No, once you get really comfortable with multiplying and dividing the numbers, yeah, you can totally skip this. This is just for us to check our answers right now and to get comfortable with converting the units. Okay, oh, this one's a little bit bigger, 30 feet. How many yards? Okay, so remember, feet is small compared to yards, which are big. So when we go from small to big, we divide. So we're going to divide. Okay. And so we know that there are 3 feet in every yard. Okay. So we're going to divide by 3. So if I divide 30 by 3, I should get 10 yards. Okay, but we're going to check our work. Okay, so this one you're going to need to leave some space because we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do 10 yards, right? So 3, 6. So we're going to be counting by feet. So 3 feet, 6 feet, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, running out of space here, whoops, 27, 30. There we go, just enough space. Okay, so then this would be 30 feet, it's 1 yard, 2 yards, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards. We got the right answer. All right. And this one, so we are going from something small to something large. So again, we are going to divide. Okay, so what are we going to divide by? Well, there's inches and feet, and we know for every foot we have 12 inches. So we're going to divide it by 12. And 60 divided by 12 should give us 5 feet. Because 60 divided by 12 is 5. But if we want to check our work to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, well, that's 12 inches is 1 foot. Okay, so then that would be 24 inches, 36 inches, 48 inches, and then 60 inches. And that's how many inches we have. So that's 1 foot, 2, 3 feet, 4 feet, cat, hold on, 5 feet. Okay, cat wants to make a debut. Come on, kitty. All right. Hang on a second. $5 feet. And is that what we got? Sure enough, it's what we got. All right, we're going to do some challenge problems now. So we're going from yard to inches, and you might be saying, wait a second, what about feet? Well, this is how we're challenging ourselves. So we're going from yards, which are a large unit, to inches, which are a small unit, so we know we are going to multiply. So the question is, what do we multiply by? Well, we're going to figure that part out in a moment. I'm going to go ahead. we're going to break this into parts. So we're going to say 5 yards is equal to how many feet? And that's equal to how many inches? And ultimately, that's what we're going for. So we know yards are larger and feet are smaller, so we are going to multiply. And I know that there are 3 feet for every yard, so I'm going to multiply by 3. So 5 times 3 is going to give us 15 feet. Okay. All right, and then we need to go from feet to inches. So again, we're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, so we are multiplying. And for every foot, we have 12 inches, so that's times 12. So we need to do 15 times 12. So, quick little review of our double-digit multiplication. I'm going to do this the algorithm way, all right? 2 times 5, 10, regroup. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. I added that. Okay, tic-tac-toe, put a 0. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 1, then we add them up. Okay, we got 180 inches. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip back for a moment. We're going to check our work. Remember when we looked at this and we said that 1 yard is 36 inches. So could we multiply each yard by 36 to get how many total inches? Well, let's see here. 3 times 12 is 36, so that would make sense. So let's do that and check our work. All right, so I'm going to just kind of go over to this side here and say 36 times 5. 5 times 6 is 30, regroup. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18, so we have 180. We got the same answer here and here. Okay. All right, so now we're going to challenge ourselves with a challenge problem, with another challenge problem, and of course, you know, you can pause as you need, or if you want to just come back to this later, you totally can. So we're going from inches to yards, and we know that there's feet in between, right? And we know that inches are smaller units. We go from a small unit to a large unit. We need to divide, okay? So the question is, what are we going to divide by? You may have gotten a clue from looking at this other question. So we're going to come in and check on that a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and start kind of like we did before. We're going to break it down into its parts. We have 108 inches, and we know it's going to be equal to a certain amount of, certain amount of feet, which is going to be equal to a certain amount of yards. And because we know we're going from smaller to larger, we are dividing, and we are dividing. Okay, and because there's 12 inches in a foot, we're going to divide by 12 here. And you might be saying, okay, but Ms. Perkins, we don't usually divide a 2-digit or a large number by a 2-digit number. And we don't do that yet, but these are groups of 12, right? So we know our 12s. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do this out to the side. So we have 108, and we're dividing it by 12. Okay, so if I'm doing regular old long division, can I make any groups of 12 with 1? I cannot. I can scoot over. Can I make any groups of 12 with 10? I cannot. So I have to make groups of 12 with 108. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, 108. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 groups of 12. I'm going to check my work. That's 18. Regroup. 108. So 9 times 12 is 108. No remainders. Okay, so that would give us 9 feet. Okay, so now we have 9 feet, and we need to turn this into yards. Okay, so we're going to say, well, there are 3 feet in every yard, so we're going to divide it by 3. We can do that one in our heads. 9 divided by 3 will be 3 yards. Okay, so 3 and 12, that's 36, and we remembered that when we refreshed our memory earlier, so this should be 36. Okay, so then 108 divided by 36. We haven't learned how to do that in math just yet. So I'm going to do kind of like I did here. We're going to do groups of 36. So we should have 3 groups of 36, right? Because there's 3 yards. I'm going to go ahead and work backwards and say 36 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. Regroup. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. We have 108. So it matches. So it would be 3 yards. Okay. So on your blend module, you have a practice page, and most of them are going to look like the earlier practice that we did. You are welcome to use any way that we practiced together. If you have questions, feel free to reach out, and I'll see you. Y'all have fun, and I'll see you soon. Bye.